Yes, indeed, Terry. It is Thursday, coming off a hump day.
Yep.
Yesterday was kind of an interesting day. Managed to make it through and hit that last pick four. It was like $160. But honestly, I would have rather had the 4-horse win because we would have both got it. But he got bounced from the and it would have paid more too because the 4 was a longer shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I knew that when he cut off the 2 and that the 2 finished behind the 6, that he was going to get DQ'd. Although I don't think the 2 had a chance to beat the 4-horse, but the fact that he didn't finish second, I knew right then and there they're DQing that one.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate, right?
It was, yeah. I was a little frustrated for me, but looked like they really need to do that.
Yeah, it was one of those where I knew when it happened, I was like, damn it, I wish it wouldn't have happened because I know that they're going to do it because of the way the 2-horse finished it. But in any case, today we're off to New York City. Terry, have you ever been to New York City?
I have, yeah. I did.
What did you think of it?
Well, my wife loved it. I had I liked it, but I didn't like a lot of things about it. Like you'd be up like 15 stories in the hotel and you could hear 3 o'clock in the morning, horns beeping, things going on. It was like a double-edged sword for me.
In other words, you were a crabby old man back then too?
I was, yeah. And that was a long time ago. That was like 20 years ago. So actually, let's see.
Are you the kind of get off my lawn kind of guy, Terry?
No.
Get off my lawn.
No, that was in 2010. And we were actually in the World, that restaurant up in the World Tower.
Uh-huh.
And it was 1 year to that date that they.
So that was 2000. When did they come down? Wasn't it 2011? I thought it was 2001 they came down.
Yeah, maybe. Whenever it was, I was there the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it was pretty.
That was a long, long time. I tell you some stories about that because I worked for Morgan Stanley at the time.
Uh-huh.
And they had a New York office that was in the Twin Tower buildings. So the very next day, and then we're getting on a tangent here, but we called some guys that we knew that worked in the in that office out there, and we got like a firsthand account of what it was like, and it was crazy. So they were in the second building that got hit, and and the elevators don't go straight up and down. You got to get off at like collection spots.
Mm-hmm.
So the first building had gotten hit, and the Port Authority was telling everybody, evacuate from the other building. And then as they were in like a collecting area to go to the next elevator, the Port Authority came on the PA and said, okay, it was just a commuter plane. It was an accident, whatever, go home. You can go back to your office.
Yeah.
And then some people got back in the elevator, right? And just as they got back in the elevator, they said he felt the building, whoom, the second plane had hit, right? So the elevator closed, and he said that all of a sudden, like all the lights went out, and there's like this plume of flames just came firing out, and the elevator full of people opened up, and it was just a big ball of flame. And I won't describe what he said it looked like from there. Wow. And then he said it was just mayhem trying to get the hell out of there. And he was telling us about it. Just insane how that happened.
Yeah, it is. So,
and we had such unity afterwards, and now look at us pulling at each other's every little thread that we disagree with.
Yeah, no, I know, and it's pretty scary what's going on over in Russia and Ukraine. So
it is. Really. Hopefully, it doesn't manifest itself as negatively as most people do. For those folks who have family members that are in harm's way, we certainly hope and pray that it does end itself in the most positive way possible, whatever that is, right?
I agree, yeah.
So did you get a chance last night, Terry, to watch Riley Grusin on our YouTube channel?
I did, and I really liked her. I like her attitude. She seemed very mature for her age, and I think she's going to do well, have a great career.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to check this young lady out, I was absolutely 1,000 impressed with her composure, her knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. And the ability the ability to kind of describe what it is she wanted to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And in such a way, I mean, this is a young girl that's got a great head on her shoulders, good connection with Safi Joseph Jr. She's going to get good horses. Those horses are going to come to Delta Downs and Sam Houston Circuit. So keep an eye on her. I got a feeling she's going to get better.
I do too. Yeah.
The funny thing was her boyfriend does all the riding for her, though. That's got to be interesting, Terry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So make sure you head over to Horse Racing Radar TV over on YouTube. Watch that. You're going to be impressed with that young lady. I absolutely guarantee it.
Yep.
FDIC insured, whatever that's worth, Terry.
Okay. Sounds
probably
good.
not a whole lot, huh?
No.
All right. So today we're at Aqueduct in New York, as I mentioned. Race number 1 is going to be something else I wanted to say, but it doesn't matter. 1 mile maiden claiming $25,000, a purse of $35,000, Terry. And at 1 mile, they've had, and these races at Aqueduct for 1 mile are 1 turn. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most challenging things for me early on was which tracks have 1 turn, which tracks have 2 turns and all that. I mean, that took me a long time to kind of get that figured out. So that's something I would pay attention to. If you're a new handicapper, try to find out if it's a 1 mile turn with 1 turn or 2 turns, because it does make a difference. In any case, they've had 111 of these races, Terry, 88 of them. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. won by speed, 32 of which there's a lot of great 32s in history, Terry. Let's see, Franco Harris. I don't know. Can O.J. Simpson still be a great 32? I mean, he was a great football player. He was. Maybe not a great person, but definitely a great football player.
Yeah, it's like he had 2 different lives.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, honestly, he was probably the best running back ever, but
yeah,
not the best person ever. He's on the complete other end of that spectrum. But there is a slight post position bias of 4 and out. So, Terry, you're going to start with number 6. Go ahead, pronounce it.
Yeah,
we're just going to say number 6.
I know. In talking to me. Are you talking to me?
In talk to me. I have no idea what that is.
I have no idea either. I tried to break it up and see, but anyway, she ran second versus similar in her last race.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
I know. I got it. I know you ain't talking to me.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. That's it. I know you ain't talking to me. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Now we got it.
You got it. All right. Anyway, she ran second versus similar in the last race, and she has the highest last race speed rating and a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 5, Live in 5, ran 4th versus in her last race in her last race after she was bumped during the race, and she has the best dirt speed among today's starters. She has a really good workout on February 19th of 49.4 breezing. 10th best out of 135. And then number 1, Elegant Loaban, finished 3rd versus similar in the last race. And then, 2 horses were scratched. So there's only 4 horses in here. So my 4th pick, of course, number 2, I have nothing to say about Emerald Baker.
All right. For me in race number 1 to get cracking today, Terry, 5 Live in 5 is my top choice. Tends to run its best races when it's fresh, has the top early pace numbers in a shallow field, as you mentioned. If you get to the lead, a lot of times you can control the pace when there's not a whole lot of horses behind you. Had some of the best quarter mile fractions last time out. And since the horse ran last time, it's had some very good workouts. I know you ain't talking about me, Terry, or to me. 4 consecutive speed figure increases, some really nice late race improvement in the last one. That last one was very good. In fact, it was above par for this level, running the fastest quarter mile fraction so far that any horse has been able to produce, and then had a huge late pace advantage over the rest of this field. So if it's on the tail of the 5 horse, probably does run by it in the lane. And then finally, number 1, Elegant Leoban. You got Trevor on this horse, and there's really not a whole else to like about that horse, but as much as Trevor being Trevor on that horse is better than what any of the other horses in the field had to offer. So What does that say? I think you're going to see the 6 and the 5 run 1-2. So you can put it on the board. Yes. As Ken Hawk Harrelson says here in Chicago for the White Sox. Race number 2 is a claiming 2,500 non-winners of 3 lifetime. 6.5 furlongs, Terry, and 6.5 furlongs. Profile of a winner looks like this. 38 races, 27 of them were won by horses that can giddy up and go. As a matter of fact, 14 of the 38 led gate to wire. Post positions 4 through 7 are the best. That's where you want your horse to be. The rail is better than 2 and 3, and 2 and 3 are better than posts with an 8 or higher, which I don't think comes into play here. You're going to start off with number 6, Our Working Girl. I had Our Working Girl and Bastet, the 6 and the 7, ranked high too, Terry, but there's a reason why I flipped the 4 on top, and we'll talk about that when it's my turn. Go ahead.
All right. Sounds good. Well, she's won 2 out of her last 4 races. And at Aqueduct, and her only race at today's distance, she won. So she drops in class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with another horse today, which is number 7, Bassett, my second pick.
Mm-hmm.
She ran a disappointing race last time out, but she bobbled at the break, and she was bumped during the race. She now drops in class, and the best dirt speed is the fastest among today's starters, as I said. Number 5, Rainbow Gal. Did not like the sloppy track last race out, so I think I'll throw that race out. Drops in class today. And then number 4, Charlotte Webley. Just missed winning by a nose in her last race at Aqueduct at today's distance.
So there's a lot of, when I did my pace setup for this race, every horse wants the lead. All right. There's a lot of horses. I think in this field, what was there, 6 horses, 7 horses, right?
Yeah.
I think 5 of them have a bunch of ones across their past performance lines. So I expect there's an opportunity for there to be a really quick pace up front. And because of that, the 4 horse, which was my 3rd pick when I ran through it, should benefit a lot because it does have the ability to stay in touch with the leaders. It does have some of the best fractions. In fact, it's run the fastest quarter-mile fractions out of any horse in this field. Did run some of the best quarter-mile fractions last time out, but has some really strong late pace numbers. So if Charlotte Webley can be 3rd or 4th chasing a hot pace, she's going to roll right on by, folks.
Yeah, that looks like it's true.
Well, that's the way I look at it. I don't know if it's going to work out that way or not, because you can do that analysis on paper, right? In the book, I think the Mice and Men, they said what did they say? The best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah, because I'll do that and I'll figure out how I think the race's going to run, and it runs completely different than what I figured.
Right. So
usually the horse I think is going to go to the lead goes to the back of the pack, and the one I think is going to go to the back of the pack goes to the lead, and I go, oh my Lord, what's going on here?
I got that right. Yes, number 7, Bastet is taking the biggest drop in the field. It ran for $82,000 last time, chopping a whole lot off that number, coming in for only $37,000 today. One of the things I didn't like about the 7 is it did show some late pace regression in its last race. So maybe the horse is tailing off a little bit, but it does own the top early pace and late pace combination in the field. And maybe a weight break today can make up a little bit for that regression last time out. It was a tough call between the 7 and number 6, Our Working Girl. I went with the 7 above the 6 because it's taking a bigger drop than Our Working Girl. Our Working Girl ran for $45,000 last time, $37,000 this time. Should be a part of the early story and the gates open because she did run some of the better fractions last time out. But there's another one where I saw some early pace and late pace regression. So I'm wondering if maybe those two have peaked and are cycling down, which still makes them better than most in this field. Number 3, Investment Grade, is on the other side of that equation. Investment Grade showed some major 2 furlong, 4 furlong, and late pace improvement in the first race off the bench. And this quick turnaround for this horse as well, because just last ran on February the 10th, does have the top pedigree, and historically owns the best early pace numbers. So maybe the number 3 horse, Investment Grade, could be one here that upsets, makes for a nice little payout. Race number 3 is 1 mile, claiming $8,000, purse of $22,000 for 4-year-olds and up. Terry, we talked about the profile, I think, of a winner of a 1 mile race to get started. Again, 1 turn, 111 starts so far, 88 won by speed, 32 going wire to wire. And if you wear a 4 or higher, you tend to have a little bit of advantage over the rest of the field. We both start right inside the 4-horse with the 3 Playwright. Why do you like Playwright?
Well, he finished 7th after hitting the gate and being bumped at the break last time. So he had a lot of excuses.
A little bit of tough start, huh?
Yeah, and he drops in class today, and the jockey has really been turning to. He's won 8 out of 24 races, been money 13 times, and then number 7 Magatron ran second versus similar in last race, only beaten a nose and earned the highest last race speed rating, actually tied with another. And the trainer wins 27% of the time. First time he puts a horse in a claiming race. Then number 6 Flowers for Lisa. The trainer wins 27% of the time first, as I said. Oh, I'm sorry. Switches to a high percentage winning jockey and has the highest speed rating at today's distance. Best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the trainer in the last 14 days has won 6 out of 14 races. And then number 1, 3, The Hard Way. Had a disappointing race last time out, tiring on a good track. So he didn't like the good track, it seems. But hopefully the track will be better today and more to his liking. Drops in class today. So
I'm going to start with number 3. Has the top pedigree in this field, and it's taking a small drop. Last time out, running for 28,000, just cutting 6,000 off that here today. It's getting Trevor McCarthy, who's just been lighting that Aqueduct tracked up. He's happy the Ortiz brothers are down in Florida, right?
Yeah.
But 24 races, 8 wins, 2 seconds, and 3/3. So Trevor's really been racking up those W's. As you mentioned, the horse did have some trouble in its last race. But what I like about this spot is this horse has the best late pace numbers by a wide margin, Terry. I mean, big, big, big. And if you watch Trevor ride, it seems to me he does a lot better on horses that don't get up front.
Yeah.
And has a little bit of an opportunity to see the race in front of him and then get himself in the right spot to win the race late. He's definitely, at least in my opinion, from watching, much better on horses that come from off the pace than those that are near the front. And I think he would probably admit that too, because when we talked to him a couple of times about being out in, California and how hard they come out of the gates, and he said that's really just not his style, that he'd rather let the race come to him than try to force it.
Yep, that's right.
Number 7, Magnetron, missed by a nose last time out. And it had some strong across the race improvement for its pace numbers last time out. So you saw better 2 furlong numbers, better 4 furlong numbers, better 6 late pace numbers. It's the first off the claim for trainer Rob Altras, who's won 40 of 147 like this. And the horse did run some pretty good fractions last time out. I really worry about this because I know Rob is like a student of Robertino Diodoro, and we've talked about this before. But Robertino is just money on first off the claim, and you see that Robert Altras has the same sort of thing going so far. Potantico, 4 consecutive speed increases for number 2, getting a little bit of a weight break here for the horse who did tie for the top last race speed figure. That race was on February the 8th, so the trainer is turning this one right around. Thinks the horse is fit and ready to go. Finally, number 6, Flowers for Lisa. Was the favorite last time, got clipped, so maybe this time around it can turn it around. Does have some of the best early pace numbers in the field. Catching a little bit lighter weight today, which I think is a pretty positive thing. Run at the distance 20 times, managed to collect the top 3 check in 13 of those, and had some of the fastest quarter-mile fractions in its last race. So I think Flowers for Lisa could be a part of the early story as well. Race number 5. We're at race number 4, Terry. I'm sorry.
Yes.
7 furlongs. It's a maiden, 70,000. You got some first-time starters in this race. You got some experienced horses in this race. Normally, I put horses in buckets, first-time starters or versus experienced horses, and pick out of one bucket. I picked 3 out of my 4 out of the experienced horse bucket. How about you, Terry?
Yeah, I did too. I picked 4 out of 4, I think.
I think you did take a first. Now, you didn't take a first-time starter here? I think you did.
Oh, did I? Which one?
Hold on a second. Maybe I got my races mixed up. Yeah, no, you didn't. You're right.
Yeah, I didn't think I did. Anyway, I did start with number 6, Relate. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then number 7, The Thrill of It. finished third versus similar in last race, and they added Lasix this time. Number 8, Clash AJ, ran a nice second last race out. And then number 5, Juggler, came 6 wide into the stretch and finished a disappointing 6th, but could rebound with an extra furlong added, and has the highest last race speed rating. Trainer wins 50% of the time when using Lasix for the second time.
So looking at race number 4, it's 7 furlongs, 70 races, 48 of them won by speed, 24 of which went wire to wire. And once again, you find if you wear a 4 or above, there is a little bit of a track bias in your favor. Number 7, the thrill of it, is my top choice. This is a horse that has a lot of early pace. It's run the fastest quarter-mile fraction for any horse in this field. Did run a pretty good quarter-mile last time out, one of the fastest for this crew. Gets a weight break, has a bullet workout since its last race, and Terry, all of that speed, and it gets first-time Lasix. So that's usually a pretty good combination for me. Number 6, Relate, has the top early pace figures for all the experienced horses and did show a little bit of extra last time out with the late pace. The number 4, I don't know why I have this out of order, Terry. So let me just change this. This should be 4 and then 5, not the other way around.
Okay.
So I hope I didn't screw that up in my hot dogs and so forth. But number 4, Colloquy. This one looks to me like it's the best of the first-time starters. Dylan Davis is a pretty good jockey there at Aqueduct, and so to ride a first-time starter, he must have some confidence. Horse cost $125,000, so it's no cheapie by any stretch of the imagination.
Great.
And the horse absolutely, even though it's his first start, there's no question the horse is fit and ready to run. The question is, how does it run the first time when those gates open? Because it's had 32 furlongs of very good workouts since January the 3rd. And then number 5, Juggler, did run the top last race speed figure, does have the fastest quarter-mile fractions that any horse in this field has produced, albeit none of them have really run a lot. And then last time out showed some significant late interest, so improvement at the end of the race. So maybe you're going to see Juggler put together a great race from start to finish. I think this race is pretty much wide open, maybe one that you could consider boxing it up, but because there's so much uncertainty, there's likely to be one in here that really shocks everything, right?
Yeah, that could be.
Now, that's the one where if you're going to play a price, I probably would think about playing a price there. So if you haven't done it yet, Terry, you did it, right? Which one did you get? What number did you buy?
What number what?
Did you get from the Horse Racing Today gear?
Oh, yeah. I got number 3, number 1, and number 9.
1, 3, and 9 for Terry. So
no, I'm sorry. 1, 3, and 5.
Now you're confusing me, Terry.
Yeah, it's 1, 3, and 5.
So Terry hooked himself up with a nice number 3 over there at Horse Racing Today. Look at that. You're going to be at the track, and there's not a single person at the track that's not going to know what that means. And then on the front, you have the really cool Horse Racing Today logo. If you haven't done it yet, please go to horseracingtoday.net, not .com, but .net. Up in the menu bar, you'll see where it says Horse Racing HRT gear. Make sure you click on that. Hook yourself up with some stuff so that you'll look fantastic on the track. And pretty soon, Terry and I are going to look fantastic on the TV here because we're going to have our HRT gear. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
I'm also going to get a book that a friend of ours recommended. It's going to come in the mail today. Terry, is yours coming soon?
Yeah, I ordered it. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. So Terry and I are going to spend more time learning. It's called, what was it called? Like Extreme Pace Handicapping or something like that?
Yeah. I think that's the name.
So we're going to, it's something I'm always trying to do. I don't know. Did you ever read the Stephen McCovey books? Or was it Stephen Covey books? The seven habits of highly effective people?
No, I hadn't read that. So.
Well, one of them is called Sharpening the Saw.
Yeah.
And that is when you continue to try to improve your skill set by reading and learning and applying what you read and what you've learned.
Yeah, I believe you never stop learning. Always going to learn.
We're coming up, Terry, on the biggest race of the day. There's no question that race 5 is the biggest race of the day. Why is race 5 the biggest race of the day?
Well, because it's the killer race. It's the last leg of the first pick 4 and the start of the last pick 4. So.
Yes, I call it the race of death.
Yep.
So today, the race of death for me is not only the race of death, it's my box it up, Terry. So I'm really getting wild and crazy on this Thursday. So race number 5 is 1 1/8 miles. It's a maiden $80,000 race with a purse of $80,000, of course. It is going to be 1 mile and an eighth. So, it's just Rich is going to go nuts here. But 24 races, 16 of them won by speed. 10 of the 24 have gone wire to wire. So absolute speed bias here. Slight outside edge from the 7 on into 1. But if you wear a number 8, you get a bonus. And guess what? I'm starting with that bonus horse, Terry, one that you don't even have. So I wonder if I put the wrong number in again. But number 8, Redline Overdrive, has the top early pace numbers by a big amount. Gets that first time Lasix, been well bet in both of its starts. 17 furlongs since its last workout, Terry, and it gets Kendrick Kermouche in the mount. And when we had Kendrick on the show, I asked him, hey, do you like to run on speed horses? And he said, absolutely. So if you watch the race today and Kendrick looks behind him coming out of the turn, the race is over. He told us that if I'm looking behind me, you can go straight to cash your checks. Number 3, Beyond Best, is taking a second start off a layoff. Bullet workout in between races, so I like to see that. So I'm expecting improvement. I see improvement in the workout. Last time it was the beaten favorite. And trainer Todd Pletcher, I don't need to give you any accolades about Pletcher. You follow the sport. You know Pletcher's demand. But he's, surprisingly to me, and I think this is a surprising number, he only had 351 of his favorites beat. And that surprises me because Todd Pletcher has a lot of favorites leaving the gate, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's less than one a day getting beat. So 95 out of those 351 have come back for this horse that has the top pedigree for the distance and surface. Number 7, Nobody Rides for Free. This horse is taking the route for the first time. It should be a part of the early pace because those horses that go from sprints to routes, they usually get out of the gates pretty quickly. Last time out was amongst the early leaders, had some of the fastest quarter mile fractions. And then finally, we're going to celebrate a little bit of Philly today, South Philly, coming in from Santa Anita, though. That is South Street. 17 furlongs of workout since his last on January 21st. And the horse should be better this time around. That box it up, Terry, is for a $1 exacta box, a 50-cent trifecta box, a 10-cent superfecta box. And if that 10 had hold on yesterday, I would have had a trifecta. Instead, just a $22 exacta for $1.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, in this race here, I start out with number 3, Beyond Best. And as you said, it has a really high percent winning trainer and the highest last race speed rating. And this trainer wins 27% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race. Has the best dirt speed, fastest among today's starters, and the jockey in the last 7 days has been in the money 13 out of 24 starts with 8 wins. Then number 7, Nobody Rides for Free, and that's true. Nobody does.
No such thing as a free lunch, right? Economics 101.
That's right. Ran a nice third in the last race after having some trouble during the race at Aqueduct. Number 4, South Street, comes in from Santa Anita. Finished third versus similar in the last race. The trainer wins 28% of the time when using second-time Lasix. And then the trainer in the last 14 days has been in the money 4 out of 5 times, winning 2. And then number 2, Awesome Aaron, had trouble and ran 5th in his debut race. Was well bet, though, in that race. And blinkers are added today. Has a really sharp workout on February 17th at 48.3 breezing. Was 11th best out of 101 workouts.
So that 5th race, my box it up. The race of death, Terry, ends the first pick 4, right? Which is the hot dog pick 4 for you and I today. Both of us coming in $2 under our $20 budget. And our tickets are upside down. You have 2 on top of 2 on top of 3-3, and I have 3-3 on top of 2-2. So, and that race 5, as I said, is really wide open. So I don't know. It was tough to really figure out which race to only go with 2 there. But so that's kind of how I did it.
Yeah, there's only one way for both of us to win, too, as I see.
Is that 6-3, 6? No, yeah, 6-3 of them, but 6-7 in race number 4. And then the 3 horse in race number 5.
Right.
That'll start the back half. So our prime rib pick 4 a little bit later on, but we'll get to that after we're done talking about race number 8. Now we're off to race number 6, and race number 6, my friend, is 1 mile. It's an allowance $72,000 race. Non-winners of one lifetime for 4-year-olds and up, foiled in New York State and approved by the State Bred Registry, which have never won $15,000 other than maiden claiming, or a starter, which have never won 2 races. That's a lot, right?
It is.
So you have to really know your horse's history, I guess, before you enter him in those. As we talked about, 1 mile on the main track is a 1-turn race. They've done it 111 times. 88 of those 111 times, horses that were first, second, or third at the quarter-mile marker went on to win that race. 32 of which were actually first all the way around the track. And again, if you wear a 4 or higher, it tends to be a benefit. You're going to start off with 42 Ace.
That's right. I like 42 Ace. Won its last race at Aqueduct, and that was actually the second race in a row that it won, and earned the highest last speed rating. Has a really good workout on February 17th. And then number 6, Dr. Ardito. Yes, one.
Or Ardito, but I think 2 T's would be Ditto, so that's probably Dito.
Dito, yeah. Well, he won his last race at Aqueduct. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 31% of the races when he brings a maiden winner back to race again. And then number 5, Breadman, finished third versus similar in his last race. And the jockey, Jose Lascano, is in the irons, which is, no slouch. He's really good. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Son of an X, ran second versus similar in the last race after a slow start. And the distance is something he can handle, as he's shown in the past.
I'm going to start it off with Dr. Ardito. Chad Brown, last time out, maiden score. He's won 89 of 279 races following the maiden win. Horse has been off since April, but has had 33 furlongs of workouts since December 31st. So I have no doubt Chad's bringing this one back ready to run, and his horses are always ready to go, especially in New York. He just crushes it. 42 Ace, the horse is making its third start off a layoff, and in the second start, ran the top last race speed figure, Terry. So all your top pick needs to probably do is repeat its last race, and you'll see that horse do very well. Had a huge late pace number and speed number increase. I mean, just huge gap ups, Terry. So the one thing that worried me about that horse is that it's such a separation from what it's run before that I'm a little bit worried about the horse coming back down a little bit. Although if it just repeats that last race where it ran with speed figure over par, should have no problem following up a win with a win. Did run on February the 4th, so it's a quick turnaround. And on that February 4th race, ran some of the best quarter-mile fractions for this field. Number 4, Fenway. I had to put this one in here, Terry, because it has such a huge early pace advantage over the rest of the field. Has 4 Bullet Works. So I had to put it in the top 4. It has Bullet Works in 3 of its last 6 workouts. In those 6 workouts, 27 furlongs since January the 5th. But the reason why I didn't put him a little bit higher in here is because Trevor, as we talked about early on, seems to be more of a jockey that likes to be off the pace. Yeah. There's no question that Fenway is going to want to be a part of the pace.
Yes, and Fenway is the only one I think is going to give my horse any pressure on top. So.
Well, I think Fenway is going to have the lead. If those early pace numbers are of any indication, Trevor could be a length ahead of anybody else, maybe more.
Yeah, and that's okay because my horse seems like to me can come from off the pace. So,
yeah, I didn't even have Fenway when I went through my first sweep through the field in my top 5 picks, even in my top 6. But then when I started breaking down the race and looking at those pace numbers, it's such an advantage over everybody else that it just stuck out to me. Like, you know what? This horse has such a huge edge. I mean, that's the way the horse can win the race. Get to the lead, run some moderate fractions, and ain't nobody going to catch it. And it could finish dead last too. Number 5, Breadman, is a horse making its second start off a layoff. And when you rewind the resume, it says he will be better in round 2. Not surprising, considering this horse is the horse with the best pedigree for the distance and surface and has improved the speed figure 4 consecutive races in a row. Race number 7, Terry, is your best bet, right?
That's right, number 6.
And number 6, in the race number 7 is a 6 furlong race. Optional claiming $80,000, non-winners of 3 lifetime. It's the first time we're going to see 6 furlongs, but both races at the end are at the distance. 130 of them, 86 won by speed. 43 of the 130 went wire to wire. unlike all the other races we've talked about today, where there was a little bit of an outside bias, it's the first time today we're going to see an inside 3 bias. And of course, neither one of us has a 1 or a 2 in our picks here. I'm the only one with a 3. So we went outside. Totally. Just always against the bias, Terry, which sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. So
That's right.
You like Easy to Bless as your best bet. And there's a lot of reasons to like Easy to Bless. Easy
absolutely.
to Bless as your best bet.
Yep. Easy to Bless won its last race at Aqueduct, and she finished with the highest last race speed reading. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, so she marks a lot of the boxes off. Then number 7, Sweet Wilhelmina. This horse is a horse that's very consistent. Won its last race at Parks, and of course he's coming in from Parks, so it might be a little up for it. But the trainer wins 19% of the time when bringing the winner of their last race back to race again. And her best speed, dirt speed, is fastest among today's starters. She's going to be 8-1, so I like that too. At least that's a morning line. Number 5, it's Cold in the Derriere.
What? I think it's Cold in there.
It's
Cold in here,
but it looks like Derriere. Anyway, ran second in the last race at Aqueduct. And then number 4, Aunt Cat. Finished the third in the last race, should improve at the shorter distance. And the trainer in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 races.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those horses coming up from Parks to Aqueduct. I mean, usually that usually works out to my benefit, but sometimes it doesn't. So this race right here, number 6, Easy to Bless. Last time out, just crushed the competition, won by 7 lengths. And that was the 4th consecutive speed figure increase, which was the top last race speed figure for this for this group. At Aqueduct, ran 4 times, 2 wins, 2 seconds. At the distance, has run 9 times, has 6 wins, 2 seconds, no thirds. That last race was a figure that was more than enough, way over par for this group. Horse ran that race on February the 4th, so trainer's turning it right around. But once again, I'm worried a little bit of bounce here because that number was so significantly higher than what the horse has produced before that it's probably going to come back to earth a little bit. But if it just regresses a little bit, still be more than enough to probably conquer this field, especially when I look at the top late pace numbers. They're far and away better than anything anybody else in this field's produced. Number 4, Aunt Cat, second off a layoff. The resume here says that this horse will be at least as good, maybe better. Has the top pedigree and did run some of the best quarter-mile fractions last time out. Number 5, it's Cold in the here. Cold Derriere, I guess, yeah. Third off a layoff. A resume, this horse says that the third off a layoff will be as good or better than any of the previous 2 starts. Last time out showed some nice improvement in the 4 furlong and late pace numbers. So I like to see that the back half of the race is getting better. And then I went with number 3, Piece of My Heart. I gave it the advantage over the 2 and 7. I prefer the Keeneland shipper to the Park shippers. This horse is the first horse off of Acclaim for another friend of the show, trainer Danny Gargan. And he's won 28 of 83 races. That's a super high number for the first time off of Acclaim.
Yep, it is.
What are you doing tonight, Terry?
Oh, tonight I'm going to be with you and 2 other colleagues, and we're going to be on our Thursday night podcast. We're going to talk about Oaklawn Park. So
we're going to have on tonight Vic Stauffer from Oaklawn Park, the track announcer down there. And we will be talking about a couple of big races down there. They have, I think the Rebel Stakes is this week, this Saturday. So we'll be going over the Rebel Stakes. Another stakes race, I forget the name of it right now. So Vic, Terry, myself, Sean, and 22-1 Tom will be making our picks, catching Vic's thoughts about his career, what he sees in horse racing, how to win at Oaklawn Park, Terry, where sometimes that's a bombs away fest down there. You see horses a lot of times with high odds hitting the winner's circle over and over and over again. So again, you can catch that tonight at 9:30 Eastern right here on Racing Radar TV on YouTube. If you haven't done it yet, well, first of all, we want to thank all of you who have subscribed already. We went over the 1,000 mark, so we appreciate and are grateful for that. But if you haven't done it, please subscribe on YouTube. And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the handle Horse Race, the number 2. So Horse Race 2 and then Day. horse race today. We look forward to seeing you over on our social sites and sharing some good stuff with you on YouTube as well, just like this. All right, Terry, last race of the day is your Box It Up. Race number 8 is 6 furlongs. We talked about that last race. Favor Speed, Inside Speed. This one's claiming $50,000 with a purse of $55,000. You box these 4 horses up. It is also my best bet. And I know this is a crazy race. I just went out of my mind today, Terry, but I feel like there's a chance for a long shot to win here. So I put my top pick on top. You boxed them up. Why do you like this race to box it up?
Well, I like number 7, Bristia. Won the last race at Aqueduct, and the jockey in the last 7 days have been on fire. Won 8 out of 24. Has a sharp workout on February 17th. And then number 5, all the gin joints. Won the last race at Lasix, and then they added, at Aqueduct, and then they've added Lasix. And then number 4, Beverly's Charge, ran second versus similar on an all-weather racetrack last race. And she can improve at a shorter distance. She has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Trainers won 3 out of 9, and my wife's first name is Beverly. So
I was gonna get to that. I was gonna say and, but you filled it in before you got there. All right,
I did, yeah. So I have to play that one.
I know, otherwise the couch would be your home tonight.
That would be true. And then number 1, Lady Melago, finished third versus Tougher in the last race. She has the highest last speed rating. She drops in class today, and she has a really good jockey who has won 5 out of 18 in the last 7 days, and a good workout on February 17th.
Yes, that is Terry's Box It Up. $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. So hopefully Terry can bring that one home. It's a great race for it too, Terry, because there's a lot of nice priced horses in this race. So I think if you do cash in exacta or a trifecta, it's going to be a nice one. Yeah, I made number 6. Yeah, I almost did the same thing, but I never copy you. So I know. So I went with number 5 here. All the gin joints is my best bet of the day. This is a wide open race. You can probably pick any horse in here and have a shot to win. I say maybe half the field, but I like the fact that this horse won its debut, got on the lead, so it broke sharp. Has the first time Lasix, which I love that speed combination. First time Lasix. The horse gets Kendrick. Again, I talked about how much I love Kendrick Carmouche on a speed horse. When I see that, it makes me itchy to go out to the window. And since the horse did win its debut on December 27th, has 28 furlongs of workout. So I have no question that the horse is going to come back to the track ready to go. Does have some of the top early pace numbers in this field. In fact, did post the top early pace number last time out and did run some of the better fractions in the opening quarter. So horse is going to be fast. It's going to be ready to go. Kendrick likes that spot, and you're going to get some Lasix. Number 7, Bistrita, maybe. Won its last, breaking its maiden by 6 lengths. I like to see a huge win because they're usually followed by another good effort. I saw in that huge win 4 furlong and late pace improvement, and it had some really nice workouts since that last race. In fact, 2 really good workouts. Number 1, Lady Milagro, the Lady Miracle. So I guess maybe the Virgin Mary. I don't know. Top last race speed figure. Did take a small improvement in its 2 AF4 and late pace numbers in the last time out. So across the board. And while those numbers might have improved a little bit, it's taking a huge drop. Ran for $100,000 last time, almost cutting that number in half to $55,000. That last race was on February the 6th. So it was a real quick turnaround for Lady Milagro. And in between races, a bullet workout. So we'll come back ready to go. And then finally, number 3 is the last pick of the day, Frosted Wild Ride. Winner of 2 in a row. We saw some enormous 2 and furlong improvement in its last race for this horse that has the top pedigree and did run some of the best quarter mile fractions last time out. And it's also the last race of our prime rib pick 4, Terry.
It is, yeah.
So you went 4x3 by 4x4, and then I went 3 with a horse you don't even have in race number 5 with the 8 horse. So I guess we're hoping it goes 3 and 7, but certainly we're hoping nobody gets disqualified at nice price today.
That's right. Yeah, we was disappointing yesterday. So
absolutely 100% for sure. So real quick, We'll run through our picks here again. Here's the entire card at Aqueduct. Terry's best bet is in race number 7. His box it up is in race number 8. My best bet is the last race of the day. That horse is 6-1 line morning odds. Hopefully he goes off like that and comes home a winner. Race number 5 is another wide open race where I boxed it up. Here again is our box it up picks. Boom, boom, boom. Race number 8 and race number 5. $1 exacta, 50-cent trifecta, and 10-cent superfecta boxes. Our hot dog pick 4s in races 2, 3, 4, and 5. And thank you, Eric. We appreciate the thumbs up. If you like what you saw too, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Again, Horse Race Today. That helps us move up their algorithms. And then finally, our prime rib pick 4s for the last 4 races of the day. Hoping to make it. I only went 3 picks through the horse for the race of death, Terry. Maybe I'm going to regret that. All right, my friend, that's that. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Well, just that I hope everybody has a good day, and races go off with no hitches. I don't want to see any injuries or horses go down today. Just watch us tonight, and if you like what you saw here, please subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Horse Race the number 2 day. Like us on Facebook at Horse Race the number 2 day, and on Instagram at Horse Race the number 2 day.
Yes, we're all over the social media world now. Now we just need Sean to do some TikTok dancing, and we'll be 100% set
with tools,
juggling chainsaws, baby. That's what we want for sure. Chainsaws and something that's on fire. That would be just an awesome display of Seanness. Yes, indeed. We'll be back tonight with Vic Stauffer. Looking forward to that. Unfortunately, tomorrow we'll be off because Tom can't make it, though I do think we'll be posting our Saudi Cup picks. So head on over to horseracingtoday.net, provided the website works. Yesterday, we had a little bit of an issue with some WordPress plugins. They seem to be corrected, so I apologize for that. Unfortunately, they're the SEO plugins, so I got to find an alternative that works because you need to move up those Google rankings. And then Saturday, Terry and I will be back, I think at about 12 o'clock Eastern to go over, I think, so what we're going to do on Saturday is a little bit different. We're going to go over the 4 stakes races on Sunday at Sunland Park.
Yes.
And then we're also going to do, what are we going to do? The Golden Hour or something like that?
Golden Hour pick 4, which is 2 races from Golden Gate, 2 races from Santa Anita.
For Saturday.
The last 2 races, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go over those things on Saturday. The time's a little bit up in the air because of my daughter and her volunteering at an animal shelter. So she's such a good-hearted kid, unlike her dad.
Yeah, whenever you need to start, we can start. No problem. So.
Absolutely. Well, Terry and I are both in a contest today at Aqueduct to see if we can qualify a second time to go to the National Handicapping Championship round, where if we win the next round, we'll actually be in Las Vegas this time next year. Terry, good luck to you.
You too. Good luck
everybody out there. Have a fantastic Thursday. We hope every single one of your picks and, of course, your day ends up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll see you tonight, 9:30 p.m. with Vic Stauffer.